Hello, this is Kylie from Hello Crafter, and I'm showing you this card today which uses a sponging technique, and we're using this die cut shape here as a mask to create this card, and then using that mask which has been coloured to create a second card. So this is one of the designs in the June monthly card class kit. So you may be watching this having received the kit, and so this will explain what you need to do to create your cards. So the supplies you need are the card bases. These are just in basic white, thick cardstock. These are A5 sheets scored in half at 10.5 centimetres. We've got our matte pieces here, our white mats. This is just the basic cardstock in white, and we have cut these down to 10 centimetres by 14.3 centimetres. And I've punched some labels for a sentiment which you can use, or you could use something different if you have something else that fits your sentiment. And we have one of these die cuts. This is from the Artistic die set. So if you've got your kit through the post, then you may need to just poke out these little bits here that might have been missed to make sure all your little pieces are poked out. And then you will also need some sponge daubers or little sponges, and some inks in any colour combination you want to. I've got quite a few colours here. You could just stick to one colour or two or three. I've pulled out 5 colours, and these are the ones that I'm going to be using. Polished Pink, Pumpkin Pie, Daffodil Delight, Just Jade and Granny Apple Green. And the first thing we're going to do is take one of our matte layers that we're going to sponge onto. So you will need to just hold this in place while you're doing your sponging. There's a couple of ways to help it stay in place. The first way, if you've got one of these tape runners, type glues, preferably one that's not that sticky. So if you get a little bit of the adhesive on in some of the places, just a few little spots of the adhesive onto the back of the die, and I don't want it to be too sticky because I don't want it to rip the paper when I pull it off. So I'm going to just take most of that stickiness off with my fingers, or you can press it onto your jeans or your top, and really remove a lot of that stickiness. It's just really a little bit of tacky just to hold it in place. Then lay it on your card where you want it to go, and just that little bit of tackiness should hold the die in place. The second way, probably easiest way to do it, is to grab a post-it note and just lay over part of the die at a time to hold it in place, and then when you come to do another bit, very gently lift it off and move it to another bit. It gives you something to hold on to as well, so your fingers don't get inky. So we'll do a bit of a combination of both. So I'm going to start by sponging that area there. So I'm just going to place my post-it note over that bit. Just helps hold it in place. So like I said, I'm using the sponge daubers. So I'll take my first colour and dab it in the colour. Don't want loads to start with. I want to do a sort of dabbing and slight gentle twisting action. So I'm building up the colour, just gently dabbing to have a light colour, and if I want a slightly darker colour I will twist a little bit as well, not too firmly because I really don't want to move any of those sort of intricate pieces, and I can start off light and then build up the colour as I want to. So it's up to you how dark you want your colours to be. You can keep them fairly pastel, by just lightly daubing over the top. So that's that one. I can do this little one here. Dabbing, a little bit of a twist. And I'm just making sure that I don't really want too many white areas on my actual die cut, so I'm just making sure that it's covered. I also want to make sure that I take my ink beyond the edge of the die cut shape so that I will be able to see that outline. So very carefully, without moving anything, I'll just move my post-it note over. So once you've finished with your adding your colour, then remove the post-it note and then carefully remove your die cut, and then it reveals your pattern underneath, and you've got your lovely coloured piece there. So decide on your sentiments as well. You've got some labels that you can stamp onto there, and I'm just actually using some of the colour still on the sponge, and I'm just flicking downwards just gently around the edge with my sponge. So if you hold it in the air and just flick down, you can get just a lovely subtle edging of colour on your label, and it's ready for stamping. And I'm using the Hello stamp from this Biggest Wish set, and I'll choose this nice bright polished pink colour. And then we just assemble our cards. So this one, we'll just glue that down onto the card front. And this one, we've just used an extra matte layer there, which is optional. So I just use my Tombow glue with the fine point just to dab some very small spots of glue over the underside, and that should be enough to hold it all in place. I'll grab my foam pads and put a couple on each label. Stick these on. And then we'll just add some gems to finish off. I'm just going to use some of these rhinestones because this is what I've got to hand, but you can use anything just to give it a little extra sparkle. So there we have the finished cards. So I hope you enjoyed that technique and that you give it a go, and thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.